welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. So I wanted to jump on quickly today just to mention that now is a really amazing time to work with the law of attraction. So from now until the beginning of March, the planets are all going direct. It happens very infrequently. Now, last summer, we had a whole mess of planets moving in retrograde motion. So when planets go retrograde, it kind of fouls things up. They're not working at their full capacity. So we all know the hemming and hawing when Mercury is going to go retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde, it botches up travel, communication, computers, anything electronic tends to malfunction. And over the summer, we had a lot of this nonsense happening. It was a lot of going back and revisiting and redoing. And now all of the planets are going direct. So now is the time to absorb all of that good energy and put your thoughts out into the universe, because you can get what you want. So this is the time, and I wanted to mention it because especially until tomorrow, it's like favorable aspects, and I feel like instead of bracing ourselves all the time for the crappy aspects, it's really great to embrace the good ones. Put your thoughts out into the universe, stay focused, stay positive, because we want to bring some good things into our lives, and times are changing, things are definitely moving forward. 2019 is not supposed to be as sticky as 2018 was. Like 2018, the whole feel of the year to me was like running in quicksand. Like I felt like no matter how far I was running, I never really got anywhere. Like I just kept sinking. I kept ending up back where I started. 2019 doesn't have that feel. And at least now until the beginning of March, use this energy as best you can, because it doesn't happen that frequently. And I think that, it's something to mention. Aside from that, I haven't had anything too eventful happen. We had some crazy weather here, which was kind of bizarre. They were predicting that we get like a foot of snow from last night into this morning, and I don't know, we didn't really get that much. And then it turned to rain, and then went up to like 50 degrees, and now it's like they say it's going down to like -16 or something tomorrow. And like the wind chill will be -16 or whatever, but it's going to be like 3 degrees, and that's just really gets me right pissed off, because I can't go out for a run if it's that cold. I mean, I feel like that's dangerously cold to be out running. So, and I didn't run this morning. I don't like to go 2 days without running, but I walked up and down my hallway for an hour. Yeah, I know. Fun. But you know what? At least I did something. I actually got up this morning thinking that all my classes were on, and it was a good thing I checked my email, because my first one was canceled. They actually canceled it last night at 5:30, and that class happens to be in a gym, and I'm sure the gym is probably open, but you know what? It's better for everyone if they cancel it. It is really cold. And I'm just not a cold weather person. Yeah. Anyhow, so if I have to tomorrow, I'll walk around my house. Or if I get to the studio earlier, that's what I'll do. I'll walk around the studio just so that I can get some movement happening. But I don't know if they're saying that tonight everything is supposed to start to melt, everything is going to freeze, and they're predicting like 3/4 of an inch of ice. I don't know what's happening, but I have to say, we had a pretty decent winter so far, so I really can't complain. And I always say to myself too, it's a nice day out, there's no snow sticking to the ground, get your ass out there and move, go out for a run and stay out, do the extra mile just in case you can't tomorrow. So that's, yeah. I always try to, use my own motivation. I'm like, if you can do it today, don't wait till tomorrow, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. You never know if it's going to snow. I mean, there are some days where I've been out for a run after it snowed, and there's no snow on the ground, but there's snow on the grass and the trees, and it is really pretty. But I just, if I didn't ever have to see snow again, I would be okay. I really would. What I did happen to notice is that when they came around and they put salt down, they moved the mat in front of my house, and my prosperity rice is kind of getting, smudged away. So I'm gonna have to put more prosperity rice out there. Put it underneath the front mat, and I put the mat over it. And it's simple to make prosperity rice. All you need to do is take plain, cheap white rice and mix it with, you can use yellow and green, or you can just use green food coloring. Mix it up. It absorbs the food coloring, and it's called prosperity rice, and it's said to bring more money into your house. So I always put it underneath my front door at the new year. I also keep it in little bowls around the house. And what I tell people to do if they're embarrassed or they're like, I don't care, like, they don't want people to be like, what is this? Why do you have green rice in a bowl on your, living room table? I'm like, you know what you do? You get a nice dish from the dollar store. Nice glass dish, put the prosperity rice, put a votive candle in it. People think it's a decoration. Nobody's gonna know. Everyone's a critic. I mean, really, everyone's a critic. Make the prosperity rice, put a candle in it. Green candle, gold candle, yellow candle. You can even use black or white candles. So that's pretty much all that I did today. I had class, I walked around my house, I took the dog out. He's taking a little nap over here. He's quiet. And that's it. And I've been, trying to work on keeping myself in a positive frame of mind, because, sometimes it's just not that easy. Stay positive, stay focused. And that's about it. So I just wanted to really come on quickly just to mention that about the planets, that now is a great time. Sunday night is a good time to do any spells that have to do with your career. I mean, you can also do love spells on Sunday, but it's a great time to focus on your career, the day of the sun. You can light candles. Now, I always tell people, I love to go by the colors of the week that correlate with the planets. But sometimes people don't want to get that fancy, so then just get something generic. Like, I use these candles all the time. In the Jewish section of the grocery store, they usually have a big box of white candles. They're about that big, and they're round. They're probably like the half of the size of a taper candle, and they're great. They burn really clean, they burn evenly, and you can carve into the side of the candle your wish. And the box is like, I think 72 candles come in the box, and it lasts a long time. It's like $6.99. So I always suggest those candles. Or if you want to get more creative, you can get the candles that come in the jar. Now, you can find the white candles in the Jewish section. In the Goya section, they usually have the different colored candles, and you could use them. They're not very expensive. I think maybe $1.49 for the big candles, maybe 99 cents for the small candles. And you can get them in all different colors. So if you wanted to get like the green candles, they're great for money. That you can even use green for love, and you can use the big candle. Now they say 7 days. They usually last between 7 and 10 days for me if I burn them a lot. And I don't burn candles when I'm not home. So if I'm not home, I put the candle out. I know that some people leave them burning until they're out, but I don't. So now you're going to hear different things about this too. I was always taught that when you're practicing magic, that not to blow the candle out, because you don't want to use one element, the element of air, to put out fire. And I've had people say that you should pinch it out with your fingers. I'm not about to do that because I don't want to get burnt. So I usually snuff it out with something. And I've heard people say that they feel like that's heavy for the energy to snuff something out. I burn the candles whenever I'm home, depending on what it is. So for example, if it's something long-term, like I'm doing a long-term one for myself right now, so I only burn that when I'm in the bathtub. So this candle, like I'll light it when I'm in the tub, you do my visualizations or whatever, and then when I leave the tub I put it out. But that candle is like a long-term thing, so I'm not expecting it to go out anytime soon. If I was doing something like for money, and I had a green candle and I was going to be home, I would light it in the morning and leave it lit for as long as I was home. Do my visualization and leave it lit, and then only put it out before I go to bed. Now some people are different. Like I said, some people they say that they could put like the candle in the sink, fill the sink with water, so God forbid the glass breaks, the candle will go out. I just rather cut the energy and then start it again, because I'm just not that daring. I don't want to leave the candle, because I did a healing spell once for a family, and it was a blue candle, and it was a long glass one, and when I lit the candle, I'm not kidding you, the flame shot up into the air, the whole side of the candle went black, and the top of it cracked, and I was like, well, this is not healing today, like this, just the energy of it, that was like I angered somebody, or somebody was letting me know that they were there. And it was just, so like I always think to myself, I was home when that happened. But what if I wasn't home? You just never know. So I just don't do anything when I'm not home. If I'm home and something like that happens, I'm there, But I mean, I lit this candle. It was crazy. The flame shot up. There was a spark, a clap, the glass cracked, and I was like, oh my God, all right, okay, they're not ready to heal yet. We'll give them a little more time. But yeah, so I always watch for something like that, and it depends. Anything that you do over a long period of time, the results usually, they take longer to see progress, but it's usually more substantial. If you do like a quick abundance spell, sometimes like you do an abundance spell, you might win a couple of bucks in the lotto, but it's short, it's quick, and then it's over. Like long term, like a long money spell where you could wind up getting a raise and it pays you significantly more over the year rather than a quick lump sum of say $300. So it depends. It's always, depends on what it is that you're going for. And what energies you're working with, the power of positive thinking. Sometimes if you call into your ancestors, like something happened yesterday. Yesterday was my grandfather's birthday, and he was my best friend. And two things happened that were just, I'm like, I know, I know that my grandfather's working overtime today. First of all, I go into work and I say immediately, I'm like, oh, today was my grandfather's birthday and he was my best friend. And everybody's like, it was my brother's birthday, it's my sister's birthday, it's my son's birthday. So I'm like, I know that he's around when I hear that. Then today I'm at work and I hear one woman say to another woman, oh, it was my daughter's 10th birthday yesterday. And I don't like eavesdropping, but it was loud enough, And I was like, did I hear you say yesterday was somebody's birthday? And she's like, yeah, my daughter's. And I'm like, oh, it was my grandfather's birthday and he was my best friend. And then she goes, it was also my sister's birthday. So I'm like, oh, my grandfather's definitely around. But two things happened. One thing I can't even say because it was just, it was just too much. But the other thing was this little pineapple that I've been wearing, right? See that little pineapple? Because the pineapple, when I see the pineapple, that's my symbol that the law of attraction is working for me. I got to work and it was gone. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know where my pineapple is. And then I'm like, oh, it was probably in my bed. And then my attitude is always, okay, if I lost it, then it did what it needed to do for me. Somebody else needs to find it, and then they'll be prosperous. They'll have prosperity from finding my pineapple. So I was like, oh, I lost my pineapple. Okay, whatever. I'll probably find it when I get home. And if not, I hope somebody else finds it. So then, now I teach hot yoga. I drink a lot of water. I'm in and out of that bathroom all the time. I came out of the bathroom 5 hours later with the pineapple. The pineapple fell out of somewhere. I don't know if it was in my shirt or if it was in my shorts. I don't know where it was. But it was hours later, and I'm like, oh, there's my pineapple. And I'm like, oh, it's my grandfather again. He wanted me to have my pineapple back. Anyway, so it's very interesting. I always pay attention to dates. I always pay attention to times. If I look at the time and I'm like, oh, it's 1:19, I'm like, oh, that's my grandfather. And so anyway, I got off on a tangent. But if you're working with energies that have to do with relatives that have passed on, you may want to take notice if you have dreams about them. Sometimes you'll have a dream about them, and then that kind of lets me know that, okay, it's working, or there's a message in that dream. All right, Dylan. All right, he's demanding my attention, so I'm gonna go. Unless anybody has any questions, you can always email me, leomoon2588. Do you wear a different minute? Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. What I do is, I sometimes I'll just go with what I feel. But like today, I brought with me a kunzite, which kunzite and a rutilated quartz, I don't know why, but for some reason I like the two of them together. The kunzite one is lilac kunzite, and I like pink for Sunday. The pink for Sunday, pink is like the universal love. It's learning how to accept love, self-love, all that kind of stuff. And the kunzite is very, the rutilated quartz is very grounding. So I don't know, I just like the two of them together. So I usually use something pink on Sunday, and on Monday I'll wear moonstone, or I have goddess stone. Hey, how are you? Goddess stone I like. Moonstone for Monday, or you could always use clear quartz. Tuesday is black and red, so I always obsidian. I love obsidian, garnet. Dylan, please. I like garnet for Tuesday. Come here, come here. And Wednesday is green. So on Wednesdays I'll wear something green, or I use some kind of a green stone. The cheapest stones that I find are they come in all different colors, would be aventurine and quartz. You can get them in all different colors. They're not very expensive, and you can have one for every day of the week. Thursday is yellow. Thursday I'll use citrine. Can be a little expensive, but if you can get a piece of citrine for Thursday. Friday is like lilac or white, so I usually go with lilac on Thursday, amethyst. Saturday is blue. This is the day of Saturn, so I'll use I like aqua aura. Although aqua aura I feel is great for the throat chakra, which I feel is good for communication. So sometimes I'll wear that on Wednesday. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to go with what feels right. And I do charge them. I would leave them in the sunlight. Some of the stones you can't leave in the sun because they'll fade, especially fluorite. Fluorite fades. And at the very least, especially if I give the crystals to like my nephews, they're young, they can't use like sage or anything like that. I'll tell them just to run them underwater. Just cleanse them underwater. You can always stick them in salt too, or salt water, except for selenite. You don't want to get that wet because it'll melt. But like here, I have this right here, charging. It's an amethyst egg. I don't know why I like the egg shapes. But I got this, I think I got this when I was in Arizona. So sometimes I'll carry this with me on Fridays. I also have a chevron amethyst heart. Sometimes I'll carry that. But sometimes I feel like you just have to go with what you feel like you need and not always by the color. I try to dress the colors for the days of the week, but some days, like I'm lucky I get out of the house and I have my shoes on the right feet. I'm not really worried about the colors. But if I can coordinate it, I do. And then there are some days where I just feel like rings sometimes annoy me. Like my fingers get really swollen, especially at yoga, and I just don't want to be bothered. This ring I don't ever take off because I had it made by a Vedic astrologer. And it was made, it's a sapphire. Obviously, even though it's a sapphire, it's not like a high quality one. The ring wasn't that expensive. But it's supposed to satisfy Saturn, which Saturn in my chart is aspected or whatever, so they told me to get a blue sapphire, and it has to be a certain weight. So you have to really go to a Vedic astrologer and have them look at your chart. They'll tell you what you need. But like I said, sometimes you just have to go with what you feel. If you feel like you need extra protection, black tourmaline, malachite, and obsidian are great for protection, but you have to cleanse them frequently because they pick up negativity, and with negativity you want to make sure that you're not, it's absorbing it away from you, but you don't want to carry it with you, so you want to make sure you keep cleansing it. And it's years ago, like I remember being in a rock shop once, maybe I was in Arizona, and this woman came in and she picked up the rock and she was like, oh my God, it shot energy up my arm and into my shoulder, and I'm standing there and I'm like, this woman's nuts, that's not true. But But I started to get really sensitive to feeling the energy of the rock. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm crazy now too. No, but like sometimes I can feel it. And sometimes, you know, you just have to go with what you feel like you need. And sometimes for me, I think, you know, you don't always have to follow the color of the day. But anyhow, I like this one. For some reason, I like the egg shapes. But, you know, that's about it. And I used to always do the colors with the candles with the day of the week, but sometimes that gets really hard too. Sometimes it's not so easy to find like yellow candles or orange candles. I find that the candles in the Goya section of the grocery store, they're the best. Sometimes they even have them in black. Black candles are really hard to find. I think people think that they're like negative or they're evil, but they're not. They say, and I learned this, that when you want to manifest anything, you have to go into the darkness. Like that's why when they tell you to meditate, you close your eyes, it's dark, because everything grows in the dark. Seeds grow, they're planted in the dirt. Babies grow in the womb, it's dark. So you want to go into the darkness. It's not evil. I think that, I don't know, somewhere along the line, we started to believe that black candles were evil or it was like black magic, but it isn't. It's not. Actually, I don't really think that there is really, you know, good or bad. I mean, unless you're wishing evil on someone. And the funny thing is that you can wish evil on someone without even lighting a candle. Like if you just wish bad things on people, you know, I mean, why would you do that? But if you did, then you don't have to light a candle. It's like sending somebody positive energy. If somebody's going through a hard time and you're like, well, I'm sending you good energy, good thoughts, you don't need to light a candle. But I feel like when you light a candle, it's kind of focusing the energy more, and it gives you something to look at, which if you're a visual person, you might need. You know, not everybody can like visualize. Sometimes that's really hard to like close your eyes and imagine a scene. We have all this other stuff going on in our lives. It's like, did I pay this bill? Did I pay that bill? And now you want me to visualize about something else? It's not easy. So, you know, I feel like we have to be realistic. And especially in this day and age, and where I live, where everyone here is constantly on the go, you can't stop for 5 minutes. We always have something to do. It's not always so easy to tell people to meditate. When I did my second teacher training, it was so funny. They wanted us to meditate for a minute every morning, and every morning add a minute. So the first morning you get up, you're going to meditate for a minute. Okay, that's fine. 2 minutes, okay. But I have class at 6 a.m. So if I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes, I'm going to fall back asleep. Like, it's just not realistic for me at this point. Now, the idea was good. So what I would do is I would try to get to wherever I had to go a couple of minutes early and just sit in the car. Even if I had my eyes open and I was just holding a crystal, shut off the music, shut off the phone, and just sit there and just not think about anything. Like, to me, that was some form of meditation. Because like I said, we have to be realistic. You know, it's like going to be 0 degrees tomorrow. I'm not going to go out for a run in that cold weather, but I'll do something else. You know, you have to be realistic. And sometimes I feel like the idea is good, but if you make it too crazy, you're just not going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, you're not going to get the benefits out of it. So make it something that's doable. You know, like I say to people, well, if you don't want to go out for a run, just walk for 20 minutes. Like I said, this morning, I walked up and down my hallway. I mean, it was boring, but it was warm. And it was something. So that's what I did. But, you know, you do what you can. All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, you can always email me or you can comment below. And I'll probably go live at some point this week. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, please email me. I'm going to be home for the rest of the night. All right. I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.